We're gonna make Lulu's tamales. This is Lulu Stegan. And we just picked up the ingredients. We have corn husks from El Burrito Mercado. And how do you say that, Lulu?
Lord.
It's lard. And masa. Chili pods. And those are from New Mexico, right? Mm-hmm. But you can get them at El Burrito also. And then pork. We got from Sam's Club. Pork shoulder Boston butt. But you could get any kind of pork roast.
Okay, with the corn chunks, we're gonna have to wash them and then let them soak for a while until they get soft.
Okay.
The lard you will mix with the masa to make it into a doughy thing, so you can spread it almost like peanut butter on the corn shuck after it gets wet. The peppers, you're going to have to de-seed them.
De-seed.
Yeah, and wash them and then boil them until they get soft, and then you're gonna put them in the blender to make like a sauce. Which, after you have cooked the meat, you boil it with salt, and you debone it or shred it.
Boil what with salt?
The water to cook the roast in until it's shredded. It gets
okay.
And then the sauce that you make with this, after you have received and put them in the blender, you mix it in the meat. And then you season it to taste.
Okay.
The instructions will be coming.
All right. So here's the meat with water and salt. And now we are going to put it up on the cooktop. Oops. So cook for 3 to 4 hours. This is only half of it. We're actually making, we're thinking we're going to make 20 dozen tamales. So about a pound of pork, a pound of masa per dozen.
Now, this here you need to be careful.
It's been about 5 hours. I just took the lid off. And here's one of them, and it's looking pretty good, but not done, Lulu? Not.
Now a little bit more. Remember, you have 10 pounds cooking in this pot.
Okay.
So it's going to take a little bit longer.
Okay.
It's getting there.
Getting there. After 6 hours, the pork is now done. So I'm going to separate it from the juices, shred it up a little bit as I'm cutting it, and saving some of the juices for mixing with the chili pods. So we're cutting the pork into small pieces and pulling out bones. And is there bones in there? Yeah. No?
No, they're just big bones. Where are they?
We are getting the chili pods ready for the sauce. What are we doing, Lulu?
We're de-seeded them, taking the seeds out. And then we're going to wash them, and then we're going to boil them. And then we put them in the blender to make the sauce.
Okay.
For the meat.
Okay. So you're cutting them in half, pulling the seeds out.
You need to wear gloves because you don't know if the peppers are hot. Or touch your face. And burn.
Oh yeah, I can smell it. It's almost gonna make me sneeze.
Wait till they will start cooking them. Really?
Soaking and cleaning the red chilies. Hot water.
Are you using hot water now? Put them in the blender.
So now we're cooking them down. Is that what you're doing?
No,
So
that's a women's.
So this is as they're starting to pods are done. So they've been boiling for 30 minutes till they are soft. I put some chili pods in the blender and some of the broth. Just a little bit. And I'm going to
I usually hold the top.
okay, you wanna hold it?
And let's see if it pureed really good. If not, we may have to strain it.
You can puree it more. You want to get
Is
a
it soft?
spoon? Or here. We're
Here,
straining
look. From last night?
chili. Jesse.
And see, I was straining it because there might be some seeds and some of the pulp in there. Can you do it, Jesse? Like this?
Sure.
Here. Do with that. Yep. Look. See, like this, and juice can go out, okay? If it's easier for you to do it with a lemon.
Just poured the masa into a pan. She sprinkled some salt on the top. And that is the broth that we cooked from the pork the other day that we had in the freezer, and it's thawed. Putting a cup,
Yeah.
Jesse, hold this, of the lard
Wow.
into the masa.
What's that now?
Okay?
That's the dough.
Go for it.
The tamales. Masa.
What?
Should I start mixing it?
No. Relax. Just in there. Some of this.
putting the broth. That was the chili powder mixed with the pork broth. And she's mixing to make the masa.
This is just like making dough for bread or.
Well, how you put a cup of liquefied lard with how much chili powder? It was probably
I put about 2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons, and
Just
then
to give it a little bit of color, so it won't be so. Because I think this is white corn.
and then what? How much broth was
Well,
it?
it depends until you make it.
3
you
cups?
Know, do 3 cups, and start with 2 cups of broth and a cup of lard, and start mixing it until it gets a spreading consistency.
So it's almost like peanut butter.
Yeah. I think those will be. That's ready, don't you think?
It's
Put
ready.
the meat there, and then we'll just. I put that broth already back in there. Why don't you put some more in here?
Okay. So we're soaking the corn husks in water, and they came in a bag, kind of dehydrated or dried, and now we're soaking them, cleaning and soaking them, and so they're kind of, when they're not, when they're paper like this, they're kind of brittle, so they're easier to wipe the masa on them. So you soak them, and then as you're wrapping making the tamales, you leave them. We put them in an ice cream bucket with water, like that, to hold them. So now we're spreading the masa on the corn
I
husks.
think this masa still needs a little bit more juice.
Needs what? More juice?
Yeah, I think there's some broth left in the refrigerator. Warm it up
Okay.
and put a little bit of chili powder in it.
You know, school?
Yeah. Meat, masa, corn husks, wrapping them.
The tamales the old traditional way. Nowadays you can find the masa already mixed at most of the stores.
Steam the tamales for about
Yes.
an hour to hour and a half.
It depends, and and in order for you to check them, you take them out, you take one out, and if you remove the husk, part of the husk, if the dough, stays down, that means they're done, but they're sticking to the husk, you need to cook them a little bit more.
Okay.